Shabbat Shalom and greetings to you all. Now, I was talking to someone the other day and they said, Rabbi, I notice I tend to be critical about myself and others, and I often can be provocative in how I respond when I'm asked something that doesn't really warrant that kind of response. What can I do? Now, this is something that actually affects a lot of people, and I told them, and I'm telling you to think about this. If you ever find yourself in the same situation, it's great that you notice you do not like how you respond. So stop, take a deep breath, ask yourself how you are taking that particular comment or question, and allow yourself to be open to a better way to respond in the moment. We do not always mean to be critical of ourselves or others, or to be provoked for no reason, so just take a few seconds and think about it before you respond. Now, it's always a good idea to stop and pause before you say anything. You're always thinking, you're always in conversation with yourself, with God, with whoever. Unfortunately, you're not always listening. Now, we're going to see some of that messaging this week in our Torah portion. But let's begin by gathering together, all of us, as a community of like-minded, like-souled individuals in search of unification of spirit, the collective consciousness of seekers and a showing of faith, of love, a community, a chavura, a fellowship, expressing our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites us all in this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach. So once again, please do go ahead and invite everybody you know, physically, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, to gather and share from Psalm 133, the Hine Matov. Come together. Hine Matov, Menayi, Shevet Ahim Gam Yad. Hine Matov, Menayi, Shevet Ahim Gam Yad. How good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community, 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 together. Because we are a community, my friends, all of us, men, women, children. And as a community, we spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the world. Because remember, this is your sending out some of the goodwill that we all generate to the universe. We all generate it. So just send it out, let it find where it needs to be. Let's take a moment now to give thanks for what we have in life and the opportunity to do so in a sensual experience, because we are sensual beings. Now, the daily or weekly or even once a year prayer that, we do are to both give thanks and to engage our totality in a sensual experience as deep as our core being. And all of the prayers done at any time are simply designed to bring our senses into focus as we both bless God and ourselves. Now, we do this every Sabbath. We do it on holidays and we do it, whenever. But it's really what the core of the weekly Sabbath service is about. And we always begin with candle lighting, which evokes our vision. The flame reminds us that within absolutely each and every one of us, my friends, there lives the divine fire, because we all have that divine fire within us that can illuminate the darkest of places. So grab a candle or picture one in your mind and see it light. May this light enable you to see the work that needs to be done in the awesome majesty of creation. Now, the next thing we do is we always have a cup of wine, or juice or water, whatever it is. But we raise our cup because we're thankful for the partnership that we have with creation. So once again, grab a cup or picture it and know that the fruits of the earth nourish each of us. They sustain us throughout our journey. And lastly, we always take a piece of bread, the bread of the earth, the bread of life. And in tasting it, we're sharing the grain of truth that each of us seek. And those are the simple things that we do. And these three things, my friends, they're the keys to life. See, light gives us strength. It illuminates our path. It helps us to keep fear at bay. Water, juice, wine, whatever, and the bread, well, they're the tools of sustenance that keep us alive. See, we receive our blessings and the gifts of creation of life from God. So these little blessings is our turn to turn around and bless Him and to thank Him for what we have. It allows us to exercise gratitude, and that's a wonderful thing to exercise. And in setting aside a few minutes of sacred time in your own little sacred space, it's your chance to honor your higher power. Mi kamocha be'elim Adonai, mi kamocha ne'yada b'kodesh. flesh. Nora tahilot osei fela. Nora tahilot osei fela. Who is like you, O God, among the gods worship? Who is like you, God of gods revered? Who is like you, majestic in holiness, fearsome with splendors, working wonders? And that's my own translation of the Michamocha, who is like you, Lord. Now, we do this, on high holidays, and it's okay to do it on Sabbath too, because we're just giving thanks. And the Sabbath is a special time. It's a sacred time. Whether you're alone or in a group, it's your chance to both praise and to imitate God. Creation, life itself. It gives you an opportunity to be aware of your tendency to push yourself beyond your limits of endurance. You cannot remain effective if you fail to take breaks or refresh yourself, my friends. So let's send some special greetings out now. Birthday wishes to Martin. And greetings to Snoopy and to Pal. Let's also take a few minutes to invoke healing and renewal for everybody everywhere. For everybody you know, for the souls and spirits of everybody you know, because they need it too. So think of whoever that needs healing and renewal and love, or just plain goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. It's not just for people. It's for our pets. It's for the earth. It is the healing of the earth, the tikkun olam. It's part of our spiritual genetic makeup. Friends, our perception of the world is a work in progress, which is why we are obliged to fix it by fixing ourselves. And that is the meaning of tikkun olam. As we fix ourselves and do the spiritual work, it's not easy. We work on all those we're connected to. We elevate our souls. We elevate the souls of those you love, and those flames of love and light will burn just a little bit brighter. For Gail, for the Honeys, for Ginny, Kim, for Ben and Karen, for the Bee, and of course renewal, my friends, for all of you, because you need renewal too. It is the kindness, healing wishes, goodwill, and love that we all send out. It circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world is a world of spirit. And spirit, my friends, never dies. Me, Shabbat, Avotenu, Makor Bracha, Limotenu. May the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage. Make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body. The renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Misha Baruch, let us all have our spirits renewed. This is the great prayer for healing, and it's done every week, my friends, to help heal everybody. Because we call upon God to heal as He has healed before. Misha Baruch, may He who blessed, because healing is a blessing. Let's all heal as we pray for renewal and show gratitude for the wonders of our lives. And speaking of wonders, this is the 50th anniversary of man walking on the moon. Now, in the normal course of human evolution, you would think by now there would be colonies and maybe even Walmarts there. But of course, Jeff Bezos is now in the rocket business, so maybe you can just order from Amazon, the great retail killer. Fly me to the moon. Let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. Now that's an old classic, and I wonder if it can be sung anymore. You never know. Now, we're now halfway through the book of the wilderness. Now, it's such a better title than Numbers. And maybe that helps explain today's parsha. Perhaps it is the result of a mirage from being out in the desert. This week we read Balak. Now, this is the great comic relief of the Torah. And more than any other, it's the story that points this entire book to humanity. We cannot be we without humor in our lives. We cannot have a book of law and instruction if it does not represent all aspects of our being. It is an anomaly. It is the only Holy Scripture anywhere with humor. Now, the journey is pretty well over. The people are approaching the Jordan. They've not crossed into the Promised Land, and the Torah will end without them crossing over. The promise of home is just over the horizon, as it is for so many on their journey now. The thematic key word of the entire episode is to see, ra'o. And in the poems that follow, its poetic synonym, to gaze, sure. See, the Moabite king sees the vast expanse of the Israelite multitudes, which at the climax of the story, Balaam, the hexer he has hired, will see as well. The ass sees the Lord's messenger in the road, while her master, the professional seer, remains blind to the divine emissary until his eyes are unveiled. Shakespeare could not have done better. So Balak is the king of Moab, and he fears this mass of people now on his border, so he hires the wizard Balaam to curse the Israelites. Well, the Moabites have quite the Jewish history to them. They went from friend to foe, like the Midianites, who are also mentioned here. Never mind that Moses' wife and father-in-law are Midianites and were once friends, and now they're foes. Well, they're said to have originated from Lot's incestual relations with his daughters. And of course, we read the book of Ruth, the Moabite, every year. And Ruth becomes the grandmother to David, who will be the recipient of the fourth covenant when God promises perpetual kingship to the house of David. You just can't make this stuff up. So Balaam is hired to curse the people. But he echoes the original blessing given to Abraham, not once, but several times. And he has this conversation with his donkey or his ass, and it's outside of the serpent with Adam and Eve, the only talking animal in the Bible, and the only example from the non-cosmic part of Genesis, and that makes it extremely unique in its own right. People yakety yak a streak and waste your time a day, but Mr. Ed will never speak unless he has something to say. A horse is a horse, of course, of course. No one can talk to a horse, of course. That is, of course, unless the horse is the famous Mr. Ed. Now, a lot of people don't know what to do about this whole section. And friends, wisdom comes from sources we do not necessarily expect. Sometimes we are so blind, we cannot see. And that's why there's such emphasis earlier and again later on with those penalties for those who put things in the way of the blind. Well, lies and deceit are obstacles in the path of those who cannot see. So people don't know what to make of this whole section. Numbers 22:5. And Balak, son of Zippor, was king over Moab at that time, and he sent messengers to Balaam, son of Beor at Pethor, which is on the Euphrates in his people's land, to call him, saying, Look, a people has come out of Egypt. It has covered the eye of the land, and it is sitting over against me. And so pray, go curse this people for me, for it is mightier than I. Now, notice his fear mirrors that of Pharaoh, and the same words are used about covering the eye. They're too numerous, they're too mighty. He continues, I know that whom you bless is blessed, and whom you curse is cursed. Now, we've heard that line before, too. This is a reference to God's first words to Abraham. And the full wording to Abraham is, and I'll bless those who bless you, and those who affront you I'll curse. And all the families of the earth will be blessed through you. Well, Balaam wants to think about it. And God says to Balaam, you shall not go with them. You shall not curse the people, for it is blessed. Okay, so we're already told something that, we're not told it explicitly, we're told it implicitly, that Balaam has conversations with God on an ongoing basis. Well, Balaam doesn't need to be told twice. He listens to God. He tells the king and men, thanks, but no thanks. He's not interested. He'll only listen to God. They leave, they go tell the king. And Balak comes back and he offers a king's ransom. And Balaam still says no. It's not about the money. It's about God and his relationship with God. He works hard for the money. So hard for it, honey. He works hard for the money, so you better treat him right. Hard for the money. So hard for it, honey. He works hard for the money, so you better treat him right. All right. It's not about the money for him. It's purely about his relationship with God. But then, out of the blue, God says to him to go with the men. Numbers 22:20. And God came to Balaam in the night and said to him, if these men have come to call you, rise, go with them. But only the words that I speak to you shall you do. Well, it's confusing. He's told not to go, and now he's being told to go. And some people wonder whether this was, again, two pieces put together or whether it was just the editing or all. But there is this mass confusion because you just don't know. Is he supposed to be going or is he not supposed to be going? This indecision's bugging me. If you don't want me, set me free. Exactly who I'm supposed to be. Don't you know which clothes fit me? Come on, let me know. Should I stay or should I go? He doesn't know what to do. Well, he rises in the morning, he saddles his ass. Now, didn't Abraham and Isaac do the exact same thing? Take a look, you'll see they did. Numbers 22:23. And the ass saw the Lord's messenger stationed in the road, his sword unsheathed in his hand, and the ass swerved from the road and went into the field. Okay, so Balaam's riding the ass, and Balaam does not, but his ass does see an angel, the Lord's messenger. And so the ass swerves to avoid him. So the seer sees nothing, and the dumb animal isn't so dumb. And because of the animal leaving the trail, Balaam strikes him. This happens 2 more times. He just keeps beating him. Each time the path getting narrower. Each time the ass seeing the angel and swerving to avoid it, while the seer sees nothing. Numbers 22:28. And the Lord opened the ass's mouth, and she said to Balaam, what have I done to you that you should have struck me these 3 times? And Balaam said to the ass, because you have toyed with me. Had I a sword in my hand by now, I would have killed you. And the ass said to Balaam, am I not your ass upon you have ridden your whole life till this day? Have I ever been wont to do thus to you? And he said, no. And the Lord unveiled Balaam's eyes, and he saw the Lord's messenger stationed in the road, his sword unsheathed in his hand, and he prostrated himself and bowed down on his face. Enjoy the humor, my friends. This book is designed to govern our actions, our lives. Where would we be without humor in our lives? Now, to some, the author of this story is thought to have been on the same drug as the author of the book of Ezekiel with the description of the strange animals in the chariot. For others, they simply explain it as having been one of the 10 preordained events set at creation. Our sages did not know how to deal with it. If we could talk to the animals, learn their languages, maybe take an animal degree. We'd study elephant and eagle, buffalo and beagle, alligator, guinea pig, and flea. Now, the other morning, I was having breakfast overlooking the city where I was, and a very large black and gray raven-type bird came and landed on the railing right beside me, and he turned and stared at me. Friends, we are all connected, all life. We all have much to say, to teach to each other, but we do not speak the language. Oh, had I known crow just then. And Balaam saw that it was good in the eyes of the Lord to bless Israel, and he did not go as on the times before to encounter omens, but turned his face to the wilderness, and Balaam raised his eyes, saw Israel dwelling by its tribes, and the Spirit of God was upon him, and he took up his theme, and he said, those who bless you, it is blessed. Those who curse you, it's cursed. It's a wonderful section full of poetry. It is different, it is beautiful, it is funny, it is foretelling. It is a poignant piece of biblical poetry. I urge you to go and read it. Yes, my friends, the world is sacred. So is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish, celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom, be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light and all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone. An end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we are a community. We learn together. We celebrate each other. We love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally. So let's send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. We all need it. So please do learn to forgive and learn to love, including yourself. Open your hearts. Honor the relationships of your life, please. Tell those you love that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have. Enjoy your journey, because we take the twists and turns and the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our effort to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please do love. Now bless you all. Have a fantastic week, a week of love and light, a week of peace, a week of miracles. Examine your intentions. Use them to imprint your will on the universe, because we set in motion all that happens in our lives. Our intention, our Kavanaugh, our cause, our effect, everything is linked. As I've said, you always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You do have the knowledge of what is good and bad, so acknowledge what you've done wrong to yourself, to God, or to any person you've wronged, and ask forgiveness. But do so with sincerity, with accountability, with vulnerability. Now, forgive those you've hurt, as you learn to be forgiving and be compassionate, because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace, my friends, is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people in the world just as they are? Can you accept life just as it is, without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So do not stop your journey. Keep on dreaming, keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching, keep spreading joy and goodwill, and do not follow fear, follow love, because it's always in front of you. And remember to have faith, an unwavering adherence to principle, just as I have faith in the principle of love, all of you. Act with purity of heart and mind, despise none, defraud none, hate none, cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace in this year. And may you nurture kindness and love everywhere. Work to be present in the body. Expand the heart, quiet the mind, because the deepest source of real power lies in consciousness and the ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. So make the most of your time in this life. Continue to touch and transform lives around you, because you're never alone. You're forever blessed and have the ability to bring blessings to everybody you meet. Health, love, renewal to everybody you come across. We're all energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. Friends, your words are your power to transform, to love, to bless. So be generous. Bless others and bless yourself, and love with the heart. We're all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear, forgiveness, not anger. Be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you whether you know it or not. Continue to explore faith and belief in what it means to you, and never accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel others have felt, whatever you've experienced others have too. We share together. We learn together, we help each other. We are each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support we all have or could have. That special someone in our lives, so find them. Tell them what they mean. Remember, you're never alone on your journey to your promised land. You are being watched out for. So always be kind. Keep forgiving those you need to forgive, and keep asking forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. Do not get caught in fear. Forgiveness comes from acceptance and peace peace, my friends, will last forever. So enjoy the week, continue to imprint your will on the universe, and remember, God put two great lights in the sky, the one to rule the days and the one to rule the nights. I see a bad moon rising. I see trouble on the way. I see earthquakes and lightning. I see bad times today. Don't go round tonight. Well, it's been to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise. friends, there are no bad moons. Have an awesome, magical moonlit week. Celebrate the magnificence of one of man's greatest accomplishments when he set foot on the moon. Shabbat Shalom, blessings to you all, and good luck, Mr. Gorski. Take care.